Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. You join me today in front of my Volvo V70. It's the new project car. There it is, absolute beast. And today's video I'm going to be going through 5 things that I love, 5 things that I hate about Volvo V70 ownership, and yeah, just shedding some light on what I like and dislike about this car. About this car is the absolute pure comfort that you get from driving in it. Literally, it is the most comfortable car I've ever been in. It feels like a flipping Rolls Royce when I'm driving around over speed bumps. You literally cannot feel them. It is so nice to ride around in. The seats are probably the comfiest seats I've ever sat in as well. So not only is the suspension really good, the seats are just so comforting. It has actually got bad boy heated seats, which is a lovely little perk, and obviously I'm not complaining. For a 2007 plate, they are pretty good. Like, they actually do work, and yeah, I'd say that's probably my first and best thing about this car is the pure comfort and like sort of luxurious feeling you get when you're inside here. One thing I don't like about this car after owning it for about 3 months or so is the MPG you get around sort of like city driving. It is so bad. I think they sort of claim to get about 30 to 35 MPG, but literally I'm getting like 20-25, and I thought I'd get a lot better than that. But I do appreciate it is a big fat ass diesel engine, but yeah, the MPG around town is so bad. So I've done a couple of delivery runs in this and it was just shocking. But yeah, so that's one thing I don't like about this car, is the really bad MPG around city driving. On a motorway it is absolutely fine, it's second to none on the motorway, long distance, and that's what the car is built for. But when you've sort of got to go around city and do little trips and things like that, one of my biggest bugbears with this car is how bad it is on fuel for short distance journeys. That also combined with the fact that you can get a block DPF, which is a massive problem with these sorts of cars. The big diesels, when you're doing short journeys, they don't get warm enough for the sort of carbon build up to clear or something like that. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but basically it's not good for diesels to not get warm, so that's why long distance journeys are the best for diesels. Okay, so the second thing I love about this Volvo V70 estate is 100% the versatility of this flipping car. Honestly, believe me when I say I've fit a double bed and a mattress and the frame and the headboard in this car. I've fit a double sofa, so not a 3-man sofa but a double sofa with all the cushions as well. I've also fit a treadmill in here. I've had 2 bikes in here. I've had absolutely everything in this car, and it's always gone in. No matter how much you doubt it, and no matter how much you think, nah, it's not gonna fit, nah, it won't fit, this thing always manages to fit something in it. It's unbelievable how much you can fit in this car. That is really mainly one of the reasons why I bought this car originally. It was so good and so handy, especially if you're like moving house or helping people move stuff. A Volvo V70 honestly is like pretty much one of the best things you can buy in terms of an estate for space. I think there's about 6'3" behind my headrest to the back of the boot, which is absolutely insane. So obviously if you pull this front seat forwards and you sort of put it lean it forwards, you can obviously fit a hell of a lot of stuff in there, whether you have like ladders or anything like that. So that is one of the best things about this car, is the versatility and how much you can actually fit into this car. It's unbelievable. The next thing I don't particularly like about this car, and it pains me to say it, but it's not the best looking thing, is it? It literally is a fridge on wheels. I don't really understand the design of making something so boxy and then whacking like a massive spoiler on the back of it. But the R version actually looks quite nice. The sportier version, and there's not a lot different, but I don't know why, it just looks quite nice. And modified ones that I've seen with like alloys and body kits and things like that, they actually do look alright, but just the standard stock ones, they look so shit. I honestly have never seen such a shit looking estate. When you look at like the Audi S6, when you look at an Audi A6 estate, literally they are so sick. I'm not talking RS6 because it's a different kettle of fish, but literally it's so much nicer. But I suppose, to be fair, with Volvo, they're not really targeting like younger drivers. They're sort of just targeting like middle-aged men, I suppose, and older people. They're going more down like the luxurious route than they are the sort of nicer looking route. But yeah, that pains me to say it, but the looks of this car just are not there. And yeah, it's one thing I definitely hate about this car. We've got all kinds of angles here. Next thing, I have written down these bloody things on my phone. Next thing that I do really love about this car, it is so reliable. It is 15 years old now and it still is going strong. The engine is bulletproof. It's unbelievable how smooth it is. There's no juddering in the car, there's no shaking. The clutch actually feels pretty good. I'm pretty sure it's been replaced at some point. There's 167,000 miles on the clock, and I've owned the car for about 3 or 4 months now. And yes, okay, there have been a few issues, but all in all, the car is very reliable. And when you look on forums and things like that, people always say the Volvo V70s will last forever if you properly maintain them, and I don't see why they wouldn't, because so far under my ownership this car is never not started, it's never struggled to start. Obviously there are issues, and that's obviously why I bought this car, but mechanically this car is pretty much sound, and in terms of like the engine and things like that, it is so good. So yeah, that is definitely one of the best things about this car, is it is so reliable, especially when you look after the car and service it regularly. Another thing that I hate about this Volvo has got to be the turning circle. Oh my god. Trust me when you say it's a 3-point turn. In a Volvo V70, it's a flipping 17-point turn. Oh my god, the turning circle is so bad. God knows how the police and like the undercover police managed to catch criminals when they did a quick U-turn. That has got to be the best way to escape one of these cars back in the day. Unbelievable. I literally cannot get over how bad the turning circle is in this car. Run a few clips.
Oh shit, here we go again.
If you're gonna get one of these cars, expect to struggle with parking. It's an absolute nightmare. It's so bloody long, and also the turning circle is just absolutely shite. It just takes missions to park up anywhere, and you sort of have to plan where you're gonna park, which I really don't want to do. But it's part of ownership of a Volvo V70, and it's definitely one thing that I do hate about this car. The fifth and final thing that I love about this car is got to be the build quality of it. The overall build quality of this car for its age is so good. I mean, the doors close beautifully. Just listen to this. Oh, it's so satisfying. Everything that you touch is like quite nice. It's not, there's a couple of like cheap plastics here, there and everywhere. This thing rattles a little bit and that I'm leaning on, but for the age of the car they expect that. But everything is so well built, it feels like it's sort of robust. I'm so used to sort of like cheap Fords and Vauxhalls and things like that, where you touch the plastic and you're like, fucking hell, that is literally just like a Pepsi bottle. It's ridiculous how nice this feels. the steering wheel is so ugly, but it's actually really comfortable to drive. And yeah, you just feel like you're sort of being hugged when you're driving. I think like absolutely everything in it has been well built and well thought of. I think you can't really knock the Swedish for the way they build things. You only got to look at how sick IKEA is and obviously how well built things are from there, give or take. But yeah, I'd definitely say this is probably one of the strongest points about the car, is that its build quality is absolutely amazing. It's got loads of features as well, like cruise control, heated seats, air conditioning, all sorts of these little extra bits that for a 2007 car you might not expect, but yeah, it's very nice place to be, especially for £1,500. So another thing that lets this car down, unfortunately, and one thing I hate, is these alloys. Just look at the corrosion all around it. It is literally ridiculous. Every single Volvo, the V70 Special Edition, which is what these rims are, has had some sort of corrosion. Unfortunately, like, they actually do look quite nice on the car. Like, if I back up, I actually think they suit the car very nicely, but you just can't have that sort of corrosion. Look at that. It literally feels horrible to touch. They're sort of like diamond cut wheels originally. Like, that's, I feel like that's diamond cut. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, they are horrible looking alloys when they're corroded. But I think if they weren't corroded, they'd actually look really nice on the car. But yeah, they are so bad. I mean, this one is exactly the same. Look at that. I mean, that one's got more stuff on there, but yeah. So it's Sunday afternoon and I've got halfway through editing the video and I've realised the one clip about one of the positive things about the car didn't film. So that's really good. Thank you for that, the Canon EOS M50. But anyway guys, so that positive thing that I was going to comment on is the cost of insurance. So for me to insure myself on that car is so good. The other car that I'm going to be introducing into the channel, it's a little bit more powerful, but it's so much more expensive. It's a little bit newer of a car as well, I appreciate that. But for me to insure myself on that Volvo V70, it's around about £280 a year, which I think is fantastic. And it's not just that car. I mean, any car that's like an 07 plate with that sort of mileage on it, the insurance is going to be pretty cheap. That is fully comp as well, which is insane. I've had a very good deal on it, to be honest. So that is definitely one good thing about this Volvo V70, is the actual cost of insurance on it is very low. Road tax is a little bit of a bastard because it's a big diesel engine, so yeah, the road tax isn't great at all. I think it's like £150 or something. But yeah, insurance cost is very good. So the last and final thing that I'm not a massive fan about on this car is the fact that it is so expensive to repair. Most things on this car you can't really get anymore because of the age of the car. It is quite difficult to find parts. But it is so expensive to repair the car, especially when you're taking it to the garages. I mean, the guy who owned it before me, he spent £1,000 on some swirl inlet flaps to do with the engine, because it is a big engine and obviously it gets carbon build-up and all that crap clogged up from time to time. So any bills that goes wrong with this car, you tend to find you're going to be paying a lot of money. So yeah guys, that is going to conclude today's video. I really do hope you enjoyed it. It was 5 things that I love and hate about my Volvo V70 there, the new project car on the channel. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and if you want to see more sort of content on this car and watch me try and put it back to its former glory with no experience whatsoever. But otherwise guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.